Hello people, I'm the Comic Book Gamer, and today I'm going to be talking about the prequels yet again. Yes, I've talked about them each individually in the past on Battlefront Sundays, but today I want to talk about them as a whole, and it's because I rewatched them when I went to the Star Wars Marathon for The Force Awakens. I did sleep through most of Episode 2 though, but anyways, yeah, because when I talked about them before on my channel, I had not gone back and rewatched them because I didn't feel like torturing myself. I was like, I've seen them enough times, I can just go off memory. But this time I've rewatched them, and I was like, you know what, let's talk about them again. Because there are some other things you notice when you watch the prequels when you're older and stuff. I generally watch like Revenge of the Sith once a year, and the originals I watch like multiple times throughout the year. But Episode 1 I hadn't seen since it was re-released in theaters in 3D, which was a couple of years ago, I think. And Episode 2 I couldn't even remember the last time I watched that movie. But anyways, here's how I rank the prequels, from worst to best. The worst is Episode 2, just god-awful, terrible movie. Episode 1 is next, which is just, to me, one word needs to describe Episode 1, and that's bad. It's just bad. And Episode 3 is decent. I'd say Episode 3 is pretty decent. Now, on paper, the prequels are brilliant, actually, for a lot of it. It's just the execution where George Lucas screwed up. There's very few problems I have with the story of the prequels on paper, and one of those problems is the fact that Anakin didn't have a father. I thought it was stupid. They could have just said, you know, the father left or the father died or something. Like, I'm fine with the father not being around, but having him, like, the Force create him or whatever, I thought was pretty stupid. It felt stupid to me. But anyways, look at Anakin's story just purely on paper, you know, not like thinking of all the Jake Lloyd or anything or the execution of it, but just think of the story of it. He's a kid who is a slave. His mom is a slave. He does not have a father or a father figure in his life. This father figure, Qui-Gon, comes along, who's a Jedi. He's heard about the Jedi. Jedi are awesome to him. They're sort of his heroes. And this father figure comes along, frees him from slavery, so he's like, yes, I'm going to go join the Jedi Order, but at the same time, I gotta leave my mom behind. He goes, he joins the Jedi Order, and he doesn't see his mom for another 10 years. Next time he sees her, she is dying in his arms. That's pretty tragic. He somewhat blames the Jedi Order for that because of the fact that he never got to go back and see his mom. We even see the first issue of the comic book series for the Obi-Wan, and, well, there's, in case you guys didn't know, there's a mini comic book series for Obi-Wan and Anakin that's going on right now. The first issue's out, and yes, it's part of Marvel's new, Disney's new thing to where they're making, you know, all the new Marvel Star Wars comics canon. So yes, this does match up with the movies and fill in some blanks. And in that, Anakin is talking about leaving the Jedi Order, and so it seems like he's doing that because of his mom. But as we saw in the movies, he obviously didn't, and his mom died, and that was the first time him seeing her in a while. And yeah, she was still a slave. His dream was always to basically go back there and free her, you know, as a new powerful Jedi and everything, but that never happened. So his mom dies. He partially blames the Jedi Order for that, but he does find some solace in Padme a bit. But that's completely wrong for the Jedi. The Jedi are not allowed to, you know, fall in love like that. And so he, like Padme, the other person in his life that he really loves, he can't because it's against the Jedi Order, so it's forbidden love and everything, and that's really makes him hate the Jedi Order even more because he wasn't able to go back and see his mother, and now he can't be with Padme, but, you know, he secretly goes behind their back and everything, and that happens, and, you know, they have the kids and stuff, and then he sees the more dreams about his wife dying because he already got these dreams about his mother, and that came true, so it's like, yeah, this is probably going to happen. Because he's been told, well, basically, that he's the chosen one, and his dreams came true before, so it's like, yeah, well, probably going to happen again. So he seeks out anything he can, and we see Palpatine, who is this guy who's just the perfect puppet master. Palpatine's just like, oh, this kid's had it rough. He was a slave. His mom died. He obviously knows about Padme because pretty much, like, Obi-Wan knew about Padme, so obviously he does. And then later he tells him he knows about Padme. He's like, I know how to say Padme and everything. And so he knows about the forbidden love, and he's like, this kid is on the edge. I can go and manipulate him, and he's the chosen one, so he's going to be the most, like, powerful Padawan I've ever had. And so he goes, he manipulates him, helps that go through, and then the final straw is to me, Palpatine's ultimate trump card, sort of. Well, not really trump card, but his ultimate device into turning Anakin to the dark side is you see that he's shocking, you know, Mace, but Mace is blocking the lightning straight back. towards Palpatine, and it looks like this defenseless old man trying to fight back the only way he can because he doesn't have a lightsaber or anything to fight back, and this guy's just blocking it straight back at him, and then he tells him he's too dangerous to be kept alive, and he's going to kill him, and Anakin's like, no, that's not the Jedi way, even though Anakin beheaded Dooku earlier. It doesn't matter. He's like, that's not the Jedi way. He needs this is like the prominent father figure in his life now also, because Qui-Gon is dead, Obi-Wan's like a brother to him. This is the prominent father figure in his life. This is big for Anakin because Anakin did not have a father, so and his last father figure died, so he really loves Palpatine like a father. He's been giving him advice and everything, and now Mace is about to kill this guy. He's like, no, give him a trial. If he did something wrong, put him on trial. That's what we do as Jedi. And then he sees that he's going to kill Palpatine, and it's just the Jedi Order is completely corrupt. They're nuts. They've gone with the power. What Palpatine said was true. The power's gone to their head. So he basically he cuts off Mace's hand, and then the Palpatine sends him out the window. And to me, that is a great story for a character. But when you watch the movies, that doesn't come across like that because it's so poorly done. Episode 3, I'd say Anakin's Turn on the Dark Side isn't done that badly. It's mainly Hayden Christensen's acting that kind of screws it up in Episode 3. But in Episodes 1 and 2, it's pretty bad. It's like, because like you got little things that distract you. Like in Episode 1, when I rewatched that at the Force Awakens Star Wars Marathon, one of the things that really irked me, that didn't irk me as much when I was little and stuff, was like the little fart jokes and stuff with Jar Jar. I was like, why? Like Jar Jar steps in poop, and then there's this part where like the camel thing farts, and it's like, that feels out of place. That would never have been in like the original trilogy. It feels really out of place and stupid. Thankfully there wasn't a whole lot of that, but there was some of that. It felt stupid. And you had also in Episode 1, you had that stupid segment of Tatooine that should have been trimmed. Like, they should have cut so much out of that. And another thing that was really stupid about that whole Tatooine part, where he's looking for parts and he's got to get it from Watto, was the fact that we had no Obi-Wan during that. And Obi-Wan to me was the best part of the prequels. He's my favorite Star Wars character. I love Obi-Wan. Ewan McGregor, obviously, like him and Ian McDiarmid were the best part of the prequels. But anyways, yeah, it was just stupid to cut one of your best characters in the film out of that section of it, out of that part of the movie, which was a part that really dragged on. Now, to me, Episode 1, the best parts are pod racing and then the end fight, and that's it. The end fight is amazing. It's great, especially when Qui-Gon dies and Obi-Wan comes out with just this big ferocity, and you see how much more fast and intense it gets, because before that it was faster than any lightsaber we'd ever seen, because the original trilogy wasn't near that fast. Like, it looked really good. And then when Qui-Gon dies and Obi-Wan comes out there, it's like, holy crap, this just got even more intense and like more ferociousness. That fight scene is amazing. As far as a saber fight goes, it's not my favorite lightsaber fight scene, but as far as just purely go down to bread and butter, like just the fight itself, it is the best to me in all of the movies. But if you're factoring in like the emotions and the fight and everything, I would say Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back definitely have better fight scenes. But this one, just purely as saber combat, Episode 1 to me has the best fight. Anyways, the music matched perfectly with Duel Fates, and yeah, that's basically it for what I liked about Episode 1, was the pod racing scene, which I thought was really well shot and cool. Yeah, and the in-fight scene. Episode 2, basically Jango's versus Obi-Wan's fights, the only part I like. At first, when Dooku captures Obi-Wan, I really like that scene when he's trying to manipulate him and stuff, and we learn a bit more about Dooku. I like that. Then after that, Dooku kind of went to crap, and I didn't care about Dooku at all. And that stupid CGI arena scene was just, I don't know. There's just so much stupid stuff in Episode 2. Like, the main way... Also, the opening was good, though, in Coruscant. The Coruscant chase, like, a little silly. I still liked it. I like, especially the cantina scene. I like the throwback to Episode 4. That's how to do a proper throwback, by the way. Not copying an entire movie. Anyways, the part where they go in there and Anakin's like going all gung-ho, like, I'm gonna find this bounty hunter, and Obi-Wan just sits there at the cantina patiently like a smart Jedi. We see that he's learned since Episode 1, and then he cuts her arm off just like he cut that guy's arm off in the cantina in Episode 4. I was like, that's a cool nod. And besides all what I just said, that there's nothing else good in Episode 2. Anyways, what I was saying, the perfect way to explain Episode 2 and why I hate it is just this one scene, which is the CGI pair scene. Padme and Anakin are sitting there, and he floats a pear over to her. First off, they're eating just fruit with utensils, which doesn't make any sense. And he floats a pear over there to her, and they're laughing about it, and it's a CGI pear. And that just shows, like, my true hatred for episode 2. Like, that scene explains the whole movie. I'm not just saying, well, that scene ruined the movie. No, it didn't. The whole movie's bad, but I'm saying that sort of is a good representation of the movie as a whole, is that scene. Because there's a lot of stupid crap like that in it. Like, why would you send this horny teenager with Padme, like the hottest chick in the galaxy? Why would you send a horny teenager with her? It doesn't make any sense. Especially this kid that's had conflicts and stuff. A lot of people like the Tusken Raider scene. I like it. It lasts for like 2 seconds. I feel like Hayden Christensen didn't do too good acting there either, but the scene's not bad. And yeah, that's episode 2. Episode 3, however, is pretty decent. I've get enjoyment out of it when I try to throw some stuff to the side, like, okay, just the opening's pretty cool. The Dooku fight I thought was pretty stupid. I like seeing Anakin kill Dooku, like, so more to his dark side, and how Palpatine was like, do it. I like that. Obi-Wan being just thrown out of the fight like a ragdoll was really stupid, though. I thought, like, why wouldn't the Sith always do that whenever they fight? Oh, I'll just like, yeah, throw you aside. That was kind of stupid. I didn't like that part. Also, you know, of course, I'm an Obi-Wan fanboy. He's my favorite. To see him just throw him to the side like that was just retarded. But yeah, that whole thing was cool, and they had actually some witty banter, which we hadn't really seen in the previous two. Like, you know, when Obi-Wan's like, don't worry, we're still flying half ship, and stuff like that. I was like, okay, I kind of like that. And, yeah, the Grievous fight was alright. I somewhat enjoyed it until Grievous started crawling around and went on his stupid little tire thing, and I was like, what? I like seeing Obi-Wan use a blaster and then just throw it to the side, like, so uncivilized like that. I think the main reason episode 3 was the best was because it gave us the most Obi-Wan, and obviously is the best part of the prequels. I'm just saying, I think that's why it was the best, was because it gave us the most Obi-Wan. I would have preferred to see Anakin kill some more actual Jedi instead of younglings, just to show how cool he is. Instead, he killed, like, the Trade Federation guys, and he killed younglings. I was like, okay. Like, we heard about him, like, killing Jedi, but we never really saw it. I would have liked to seen some of that. The Palpatine versus Yoda fight is, like, so far much better than the Dooku versus Yoda fight. I personally hated the Dooku versus Yoda fight. To me, I always thought Yoda was above using a lightsaber and stuff like that. Like, he was so powerful, and he even talked about in the original how, you know, how, like, strength wasn't what it was all about, but instead he's doing, like, little flips and crap and, like, barrel rolls, and he looks like a retard. To where in episode 3 he was still flipping around, but it didn't look as bad, and it looked pretty cool. I was like, okay, that's fine. The final fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan is pretty cool, not near as good as episode 1's. It does look a little too choreographed. It does look like they're trying to get to a certain point. It's not like a natural progression of where they're fighting to. Like, it made sense when it was Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon versus Darth Maul, because it was 2 guys versus 1, so of course he's going to be on the back foot. But this time it looked like they were trying to get to a certain point in episode 3, like, okay, you know, just swing, so we can back foot it towards this way, and I was like, okay. But overall, I did like the fight. I liked seeing Order 66, although it was kind of stupid at some parts, to where, like, we see Keanu Monday, they're shooting at him, and he blocks, like, 2 lasers and then dies. Like, why? Why could he only block that many? Like, we saw Ayla Secura, who had absolutely no chance, because they were, like, surrounding her at all sides, and then she finally realized, oh crap, they're going to shoot me, and then they shoot her. That made sense. And say with Poe something like that, I don't remember his name, Master Poe, something like that, not Kung Fu Panda though. Anyways, when he was in a ship, that made sense. But Keanu Monday, his death it's a small nitpick, it's nothing huge, but it bothers me a bit, because he, like, blocks 2. It's like, if that would have been Battle Droids, it would have blocked all of them back at him. But these guys, he blocks, like, 2 and then dies. It should have, I don't know, seen a little bit more of him, like, blocking him, or shown a different way of him dying or something. I would have liked to see them in one of those giant Rebel Republic vehicles and just blow a Jedi to smithereens. I think that would have been cool. And pretty funny. Yep, I think that's kind of it for what I'm going to cover on episode 3. Yeah, just overall, the prequels were pretty bad. They did try to introduce some new stuff, though, so I give them props there. They weren't bold, and again, on paper, the stories were pretty brilliant. Anakin's turn was great. Having him kill Padme was really good. The problem was, that scene right before Obi-Wan and Anakin fight, when Anakin and Padme are talking, is supposed to be emotional, but I honestly don't give a crap about it, because Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman did such bad jobs acting. Yes, you can blame George Lucas for bad directing there, because we've seen that Natalie Portman is a very good actress. Hayden Christensen, I've seen him in other stuff, and he's still not that great. He's better than he was in Star Wars, but still not that great. But my whole thing is the fact that a truly great actor or actress can do good no matter who the director is. Like we saw with Ewan McGregor, even with green screen and stuff, he still killed it. Samuel Jackson, some people are like, no, he was still like stone cold and stuff and like a robot. Well, that's the way he was supposed to be, because he was supposed to be that type of Jedi. This dude who sort of represented what was wrong with the Jedi Council, like emotionless. That's basically what he was, and that's what he was supposed to be, and Samuel Jackson played it very well. But yeah, like there were still good actors there, just like Liam Neeson again. Liam Neeson was great as well. I thought Qui-Gon was an okay character. Didn't really care for him. Thought he did some stupid stuff, but I liked the scenes with him and Obi-Wan. Anyways, he still nailed it acting, so I don't give Natalie Portman and Hayden Christensen a pass like a lot of people do. They're like, it's just a director. Well, what about these people who still did great even with the director? If you're truly a great actor or actress, you will do good despite the director. Even if the movie's terrible, you can still do good acting-wise. Anyways, those are my thoughts on the prequels. Who knows if I'll ever do another video on the prequels? Probably, but I don't know as of now. Anyways, please let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the prequels overall as a whole. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like.